I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case... What? Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic, which always ends up being related. No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I am sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. If you are so sure, Wright, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. The bright red guitar not being the only thing, you don't mean to suggest that a bright black guitar... Yes, Judge. We can both go and work at McDonald's together. So you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty. Is that it, Mr. Wright? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside the case? I still want to say the suicide note, but we haven't really gotten to that yet. Usually we can't just, like, completely move on to another topic like that, you know? We can't just present that and then hope they start talking about it. I usually have to wait. So I still don't think that that's right. But what the fuck else is there? The Nickel Samurai. Press conference. It wouldn't be this, right? No, we had... That's just as a magazine. There's... Who knows how many in print. That wouldn't make any sense. It wasn't the camera, because the old bag did that. It's not involved with the kidnapper. It's not any of this yet, because we just haven't gotten there. The button was on the pants. There's the crime photo. There's Lotta's photo. Which... Lotta took this. Old bag took it. Right? What was inside the case? Dude, I have no idea what could have been in that damn case. I really don't. Is there anything in the room? There's nothing else. Like, there's nothing here that he would have been keeping in the case. The button, no. The knife? Nah, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, now, here, I have been a little confused about this, because she's been talking about going into Corita's room and whatnot. But we have this picture of the Nickel Samurai, who we said was her because it's a shorter person. So that's what I've kind of been confused about as she's been talking, and that we haven't brought that up. So I was thinking of this photo. I was like, well, this photo would not be inside the case, obviously. But what if I'm supposed to present this because I'm supposed to bring attention to the fact that she was apparently wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? But her fingerprints were on the wine glass. So what if she... Okay, she went to the room. He had a Nickel Samurai costume in his guitar case? Is that it? And she put it on, and that picture was her then leaving the room? Why would he have one of those? Is this just like Case 3 of the first game again, where Jackhammer had put on Will Power's costume? Why did he have one of the... Because I was saying it didn't make any sense how she could take Matt's costume off of him as he slept. So that must be what it is. He had a spare Nickel Samurai costume, but he's the Jammin' Ninja. Why would that be? Why, what? Man, I have no idea what's happening in this case at all. In this picture... Doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I am proposing is... Inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume. for some reason. What?
Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Wright, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. No, you don't get to do that. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct?
You mean this photo?
Yeah, the one apparently everybody forgot about during the 10-minute break.
Looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we?
Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. That usually works.
So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume.
I still don't know if that's true. Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matungard's, for some reason. Why would something of the defendant's be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case, of all places.
True, that is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this Nickel Samurai costume?
God damn it, stop asking me questions that I don't know the fucking answers. Well, it wasn't stolen from him, he was still wearing it. Although, I mean, if it was a spare, is this not still also the answer? Because he's the Nickel Samurai, the costumes are his, so even if it was a spare, I guess it's not technically stolen if he just took it from the dressing room or whatever, so I guess it's a spare. Mr. Angard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we are talking about was a spare one. What?
Then are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel?
You just gotta complicate things further. Jesus. As if I already didn't know what was happening.
And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case?
I don't know why he had it. It would mean that the victim himself had planned to bring this spare to the ceremony. Oh, you know, they said that the Nickel Samurai was supposed to make an announcement or confess. He was supposed to confess to something, but Matt didn't know what that was about. So Juan Corita must have been planning to go up there as the Nickel Samurai to confess something. To frame Matt for something, or confess something that Matt had done? How are they going to keep Matt from that? Because he was asleep. Did they give him something to make him sleep? That would be just like case 3 of the first game again. Did Matt do something in the past? Was Matt somehow related to Celeste's death? They never talked about her knowing him. Because it had to be Juan wanting to wear the costume to go make a confession, pretending to be Matt.
But why? The victim, Mr. Corita, was the Jamin ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could the reason behind such a peculiar act?
Ah, so that's what he intended. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? I've been having plenty of inner monologue. I don't know about Phoenix.
Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai spare costume?
Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Should I present the conference ticket? Because I think I actually have the answer this time, for the first time in a little while. Pretty sure I should say this. I'm gonna do it. It is the conference ticket. He was supposed to go make a confession, but he didn't even know what the hell they were talking about. Andrew says that she didn't either, but I don't know if I believe that. I believe Matt. He's dumb. Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right? I would never do that. But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Angard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night.
But how can that be?
The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up by Juan Corita. Yep, Mr. Juan Corita himself.
The victim?
Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Corita was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai.
He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference. But why would the victim do such a thing?
That's something I don't quite know. Was he trying to frame Matt, or did he actually do something that Juan needed him to confess to? I don't know. What I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at the conference. Yeah. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Corita, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt Enguarde.
Yes, I guess that is what it would mean.
But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's public disclosure. I don't... So what? And? It doesn't get an epic close-up of your face. That's not a good point.
Miss Andrews?
Notice how we're not even acknowledging that he said that? Because it was a dumb thing to say, Edgeworth. I can see why you're pros at what you do.
Pardon me?
Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan, so she knew. Alright.
Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this.
I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me.
You?
Juan had bet everything on the Gem and Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway.
He was going to ruin him, huh?
So maybe it wasn't even anything like that actually happened? Maybe he was just an asshole? It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. And you helped him. Why?
And do you know what this secret of Mr. Enguarde's is, Miss Andrews?
That's something only Juan knew. You didn't even know the secret, but you helped him anyway? But did you just really want to destroy Matt's acting career?
Oh, I see.
I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all. Now you're trying to protect him. Protect Mr. Enguarde.
And yet again another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand. Please. Protecting Matt. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. So that's what it was. So if Matt knew that he was going to do that, that might be why he killed him, but how would he find out? Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him.
This does account for everything.
Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit.
If there are no objections, I feel that I can pass a verdict based on this testimony.
I don't think so, Judge. It's never that simple. Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. Okay, well, let's see if it still is following the same rule, where I have to present or press the last statement. But what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time. Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it? This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. Enguarde at any time. Why, then, would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Corita planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause... It's exactly what I said. She just said that she helped Juan Corita set up the conference and then said she was trying to protect him. What are you talking about? This witness bears ill will towards the defendant. So once again, I had to press the last statement, so it seems. Because it seems like we're on the right track, and that's what I was thinking of. The Phoenix Wright Wax Philosophical Power Hour? Yeah, that's right. I'm getting my own show. And please, stop slandering the witness. As I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. It does not. Really? Because to me, it sounded a little wishy-washy. Mia, you are the greatest of all time. Phoenix can only hope to be half the woman you are. Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll see if I press a little more. You should know this by now, but you'll need strong, decisive evidence. So, once again, I guess, I mean, Phoenix said that I should press more. And then she said I'll need evidence. Which is it? I pressed this one. We'll go backwards then, like I did last time. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? The button? Well, we already confirmed that... I mean, we know that she was in the costume, right? Have we told her that we think that? Have we brought that up recently? I mean, I guess we said that the costume was in the thing and that we have the picture. But are we 100% certain that it was her wearing it? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and the murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jammin' Ninja's costume.
You're talking about this button, correct?
That button was found in the pleats of Matt's Hakama, isn't that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence.
Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright.
Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. Mind reader.
Miss Andrews, for Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony.
Okay, so that time we had to press a different statement. The rule has been broken. We got this new statement now. The button was torn off of Juan during his fight with Matt. And how do you know that? When the ends of the threads on the button and the costume were matched up, they were found to fit together perfectly, or so I heard. I've heard that before too, but why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail? Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you are not. I thought I had her this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her up on, it has to be here. But where and what? Well, you just said where. Here. So, it's just what? I mean, yeah, she just said that how she knows the button was torn off because of the threads, but how do you know because it was a fight with Matt? That was the question. Phoenix didn't even say anything. During the fight, the button would be ripped off. I mean, what is, like, that's fine. Nothing contradictory there. Button was ripped off, and it was... basically, the knife was stabbed where the button had been, or very close to it. That's not really relevant, is it? Probably not. None of this is important, I don't think. There's Lotta's photo, which, again, we say this is her, but I don't think I can present that right now. The knife? That doesn't help me at all, because it bears Enguarde's fingerprints. That would be a bad thing to talk about. What about his autopsy? Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. I mean, is it because he was strangled first? So you think that he snuck up behind him and strangled him? Hold on. What else has she said? I feel this is like the only thing that's even close, but I don't know how it would work either.